Good morning, people. Today is December 17th. I mean, it's 12/17, December 1st. Here to talk to you about manhood. And I was just, matter of fact, it's still up on the picture view on my phone about emotional control of men and what it means to be a man. And I just like to say, there are different types of men. Just like there are different types of women. Different shapes, different sizes, different backgrounds, different socioeconomic backgrounds, meaning different tax brackets, different shades and tones, different parenting styles. A lot of differences, and I want to go over all these differences because when I go to the general, I want to make sure that we're all unique creatures. Nobody's perfect, and it's so important to recognize that when you got something that has the basic foundation of manhood, there's something from which you can build. And a lot of times, because maybe you don't know what a man is, you don't know what to appreciate. I had two great ladies in my young days. First wife and the mother of my first child. Brim tipped to both of them. Both of them were great ladies. I just didn't know what I had. And I messed up because I didn't know how to appreciate what I didn't know what was. It's kind of like somebody using a gun and shoot himself with it because you don't know what you're doing. So I want to tell people, especially ladies, what a man basically is and how to determine a good man from somebody you don't need to be worried about. First off, you need to recognize what you attract. Are you attracting sorry jokers? And now, let's just be honest. Our love quotient or our love attraction does not equal our intellectual quotient, our ability to make stuff happen. It's two totally different ball games. Sometimes a person that gets a lot of stuff done wants somebody that not as ambitious, somebody easily accessible. And sometimes people want somebody that's equally. But anyway, I'm not gonna get too caught up in that, but I do want to put that out there because sometimes we get confused and wonder why we keep attracting the same thing and we never changed our mindset on what we want. If we want loyalty, are we giving it? Are we mandating it? Are we settling for something that's not loyalty? Especially when the test comes. I mean, somebody may have been loyal in the beginning, but maybe they stopped because of whatever reason. So I'm gonna just say this. A man is a 6-part being, just like a woman. He is a prophet, priest, provider, protector, king, and responsible. The first thing God did was give man responsibility in Genesis 2. And kingdom. Guard the garden. So he gave him responsibility for and keep it. Tend to it and keep it. That's Genesis chapter 2. So that's first, I'm giving you responsibility over the territory that I'm giving you. So first off, he has recognized his Father in heaven gives him territory to take care of. Ladies, if you have a good man, he will try his best. He will do his best to guard your heart from anything that he does directly Now, indirectly, some things sometimes happen. And arguments do happen. We all human. And you can't hold a man, you can't keep pushing a man and expect him not to go off. If he trying to get away and you still up in his face and he trying to get away and he being patient and he finding the power button, you still up in his face, that's on you. But for the most part, a man will try to keep you from harm, from himself or somebody else. That's their protection factor. Provider. A man will recognize that he needs to provide a stable environment for love exchange. He may not be the biggest breadwinner in the house, but he'll definitely try and keep the peace, and as much as he can keep the extra outside the house. Now, what y'all bring inside the house, because y'all not in one accord and allowing dysfunction and whatnot to happen, that's another ball game. But that's where the prayer life comes in. Pray together and build, not just stay together. So his prayer life means that he has a regular relationship with God, where he's learning from godly men, from the Bible, from direct relationship with God. He's learning on a regular basis, and that's important. If he does not have a prayer life, be careful, because to whom is he accountable? To whom does he account? What is in his inner ear that's going to keep him from just having no bounds, no limits? That's important. Wise man knows the limitations. Learns how to heed wise counsel. Protector. I think I touched on this, but I want to hit it again. Is able to protect him and his family from his own shortcomings, insecurities. And we all got areas of dysfunction. And that's why we have a daily relationship with God. And God says he will perfect everything that concerns us. You know, we're growing daily. So sometimes it's easier to protect from outside the house than it is to protect from what's going on inside the house. Especially when people on their phones and social media and all these other platforms that they keep hidden with locks on their phones and doing, you know, in secret. So they need to be a prophet too, because if you don't know the word of God, what can you speak over the situation? The prophet. How can you prophesy over your household? We gonna do better, this, that, and the other. It won't come without you knowing what God will support. We gonna rob this bank. God ain't gonna support that. Thou shalt not steal. Prophet, priest, provider, protector, king, responsible. A man is accountable. He's accountable to God. He's accountable to his family. He's accountable to his obligations. For the most part. Now, I'm going to say the most part. We can't always keep our word all the time. Things happen in life. Okay? I mean, you really, you just smart, ain't you? They're going to pull out that big old truck coming down the road. Anyway. I don't know what I was going to say. Accountable. If I say I'm going to do something, for the most part, I'm going to do it. And even hold his mate accountable. Like, hey, look, there needs to be some reciprocity here. Accountability is necessary. A lot of times people don't want to be held accountable for their part. Hey, I ain't saying somebody need to, get on somebody else's nerves, but I am saying that, there should be some amount of accountability for people to engage and understand what needs to be done for the household. and you don't have to be malicious with it, but I do recognize that you got to be able to stand up to your wife without being punitive or threatening. For example, let's say there's a, she said she was gonna do something. Well, you know, I gave you the massage. I saw you was tired. I ain't leave. But you said you was gonna give me a massage. So this is about the third time that this didn't happen. So now I have a problem with it, and I want to tell you that does not make me feel comfortable with you, because you're leaving me with empty promises. Not that I'm gonna leave. Not that I'm gonna cheat. But at the same time, there must be some sewing back into me. And this ain't, breaking the hierarchy. I mean, what's the purpose of being in a relationship if it's not give and take? Now, man recognizes that he not just gonna settle for anything. So it's important to a valuable man sets boundaries and recognizes he's not the only one responsible in the relationship. He holds the kids responsible to their stuff. Now, let me touch on how a woman can support that. Well, your daddy said no. This is what, because when marriage says the two become one, and if y'all gonna become one, then what we establish as parents, what we are holding you as children to, even if it's a divided household, these are the standards that we want for you as a child. This ain't about what your daddy said. This ain't what your mama said. This is what you are accountable for as a child. This is what you have been told that you were responsible to do. Sometimes we don't want to be. Some people want to be the child's friend and make the other parent look like an enemy. Well, your mama, well, your daddy. That's not good. And I just think if you got a man who supporting you, who keeping himself in decent health, he ain't got to be no super bodybuilder, abs, 8-pack abs, and ripped like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime and all that stuff. I mean, is the guy in good health? Is he at least maintaining a household? Do you have to tell him to take out the trash? I mean, just simple stuff. Does he try to do what you want him to do? Often. I ain't gonna say all the time, but often. Because sometimes some of the desires, especially of the 2020 decade women, is unreasonable. It is unreasonable to tell somebody who got their own household that they need to be paying your rent every month. That's unreasonable. That's unreasonable. You got kids with fathers that are not him, and he got to take care of all of them and take care of his. That's just unreasonable. Now, if he do, that's fine, but I'm just saying, sometimes it's just unreasonable for him to have to do everything for everybody all the time. And if you got a man who will accept your kids and treat them like his own, and try and give to them just like he do for his own, you crazy. Let that joker go. Crazy. Don't mind being vulnerable. And it's another thing. It's saying men don't cry. Man, please. Shoot. Before I was able to let them tears loose, man, I was breaking walls, had some anger and whatnot. So I mean, like, better let them tears go. And if you got a man that's gonna be vulnerable enough to tell you how he feel about the situation, and you had the audacity to use that and stab him with it, you just lost him. You just lost him. he gonna shell up. And he gonna be like, check. And if he keep trying and you still keep stabbing with him with it, you're gonna lose him eventually. Because at some point, folks don't like getting stabbed. When they being vulnerable, when they being uncomfortable, but trying to make the relationship work. So I just say, some of y'all don't know what you got. Never had an example of what a real man is. Not a perfect man, a real man. Only perfect man was Jesus. Okay, that's God's son. Okay. The reason Jesus, God, and the Holy Spirit are one, because there was no division in them. Just like a marriage is supposed to be, there's no division with you all. Yeah, you your own person. Okay. Yeah, he his own person. But when it come down to this house and the rules that we got for this house, we won with that. When it come down to who come in this house and how they gonna act, we won with that. When it come down to when we need to put somebody out this house, we won with that. When it come down to you in the hospital, I'm right there with you. I'm right there. I'm in the hospital, you right there with me, taking care of me. I'm sick and I need a cup of water, you bring it to me just like I bring you a cup of water, tea or whatever. You know, you rub my back, I rub yours. It's called team. Team. You wonder why some married folks have been able to make it for so many years, because they recognize and appreciate the differences in each other as well as the unity of each other. I ain't got to be you and you don't have to be me, but we do have to be we. We do have to be us. We do have to be a team. We do have to learn to work together. Now, it's if my mate want to get on the roof with me and you know, help me out with a job or something like that, that's fine. But if the roof is dangerous and I'm like, because I don't trust your agility or whatever shoes you may have on or whatnot, I'm not finna have you do that. If you got the wrong shoes on for us in the work environment, and I know you don't have those type of shoes, I'm probably gonna buy you some, or I'm be like, baby, you can't do this job with me because, you know, your feet are exposed and I like your pretty toes and I don't want no brick, or you know, you step on a nail or something and you know, you be uncomfortable. I don't want that. I don't want you hurt. That's protection and provision. I'll never forget, I saw my friend sent me this picture of this lady carrying a small ladder up to her husband who was on the roof so he could get to the top of the chimney to fix for a roof repair or whatever. And I was just like, man, how many women do we have like that who will be consistent like that throughout the relationship? And they don't have to be getting on the roof. Whatever it is to help the family out, to help the family, help the team. That's their business. That's their job. So many people want to sit up and just reap all the harvest, but don't want to help go pick the car, plant the seed, put the stuff out there. I mean, even to the point where some of these ladies don't even want to help the man in prayer or pray with the man or make the kids pray with the family. Instill these values. Just the vibe. It's like, what are you doing? Like, for real, what are you doing? It's so much that we can have together versus divided, we conquered. We don't have much. One can send 1,000, two can send 10,000. So if I'm bringing in 1,000 by myself, if you help me, we can bring in 10,000. But it's just like, so many folks just got the hand out. Like, you think money growing on trees? Just because I gave it to you because I love you, that mean that it's just gonna always be there? It's always, you know, it's like it's always gonna be there? No, it don't work like that. It just don't. You gotta go back out there and get another job. And I mean, if you in business for yourself, you gotta keep the contracts coming in. Or if you working for somebody, it's like, okay, I put these hours in, I gotta do some more hours. You know, I just do not understand some of these people out here. And men can be the same way. You can have a sorry joker. You know, oh my God. Let me tell y'all something. Ladies, you cannot raise a man. You can raise a good human being, but you cannot raise a man. A man needs other men so that there can be a balance of tough love as well as some comfort when needed. You can't raise a man without tough, but it takes other men who know what it means to be a man. And if that was the case, males and females won't have so many problems that they do now, because they don't. It's either you understand or you accept. And when we become so intolerant that we can't accept that this is a individual, this is a whole different gender, this is a male-minded person. And you wonder why so many folks just don't want a relationship, male and female, because we don't know what we got. We don't know how to appreciate what we got. We can't respect the boundary of this is a man. Oh my God, let me tell you, the worst thing you can do as a woman for a real man who know his worth, keep flirting with other dudes in front of him, especially if you married. You ain't do that in the beginning, but then you start doing it all of a sudden because you're trying to use some manipulation, control, whatever the situation is. Keep doing that stuff. See where it gets you. See where you end yourself up. Because at the end of the day, we all reap what we sow. We all reap what we sow. Good, bad, and different. Seed time and harvest time will not stop until the end of the earth. At any rate, learn that we all got issues. Seek some type of counseling for your issues. Own your faults. Anybody who can't own their fault is a narcissist. People who have problems apologizing are usually narcissistic. Beware those people. That's a blinder over them. I hate to say it, but it's just it's hard to deal with a person like that. So y'all figure out what y'all want in this world. If you want more of the same, keep doing what you do. I tell you. Oh my God. Some people I'll never go back to. Ever. Wouldn't even. And it ain't about unforgiveness. It's just like, I would never subject myself to such low-class treatment that I subjected myself to. And I ain't just talking about one person. And I realized that for me, at that point in my life, I didn't value me. And a real man will value himself enough to know what he do and don't want. These boys out here settle for anything just to get that lustful flesh, whatever, dealt with. I was that dude at one point. But now, it's like, you gotta bring something to the table. If you ain't bring nothing to the table, guess what? I'm gonna bless you on your way. Yeah, I'm gonna gift you out of my life. You ain't got nothing bad to say about me. I ain't gotta look over my shoulder. I did the best I could. Goodbye. You got it. You win. But I win more because I ain't gotta give you no more. So, set boundaries for yourself, folks. Men and women. Learn what's your non-negotiables. Learn what you need to grow up on, because you too intolerant of certain stuff that is unreasonable. Unreasonable is wanting somebody to do everything all the time. No reciprocity. That's unreasonable. Unreasonable is thinking you can catch an attitude with somebody all the time and they supposed to run to your rescue regularly. That's unreasonable. Wanting something that you will not give in return if you was in the position to do it, that's unreasonable. So I can go on forever and a day, but there's too many situations about that. I hope you got some form of understanding what a real man is: prophet, priest, provider, protector, king, responsible, as well as honest his word. Majority of the time. Y'all have a good day. And remember, God will lead you. Don't be afraid of the person sown into your life as a seed to grow into an oak tree, but you too busy throwing your nose up at the acorn when God said that's the oak tree, that's the mate for you, that's whatever. And I promise you, after the beat ups I've had, it took me a while to trust God in terms of feeling like, dealing with another mate. It took me a while to get to that level, but I'm not gonna throw away no more acorns, because when you can have an oak tree that's producing good fruit, it's worth keeping around. Y'all have a good one.